The top stories tonight in Y News. The House of Representatives conducts its motu proprio inquiry in aid of legislation on crimes connected to illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs. Several senators advised their fellow lawmakers, Senator Gatchalian and Hontiveros, to improve their security amid alleged death threats. Retired Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio urges the government to file a new arbitration case against China. And we will discover why Democrats in the United States House of Representatives and others are opposing the virtual nomination of President Joe Biden. Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, the 17th of July, 2024. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harding Delgado. First in the news. The joint committees of the House of Representatives have started their motu proprio hearing on the illegal activities connected to the Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs. Several rescued workers attend the House hearing. Some of them are from China, Malaysia, and Vietnam. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
Yan po yung nakatakas, nahuli, at ayan po yung kanyang inabot.
The House of Representatives have started its motu proprio inquiry in aid of legislation and crimes connected to illegal POGOs. Among these are human trafficking, kidnapping, torture, online scams, money laundering, murder, and others. During the hearing, some videos of the torture were played. With covered faces, several rescued POGO workers attended the hearing. They originated from China, Malaysia, and Vietnam.
Were you tortured? Have a physical abuse or something?
The back, in the back.
Back?
No. In the face. The time them torture me in the face, and then I will report in.
You were slapped or you were punched?
Yeah, we will get punched.
According to Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation or PAGCOR, there are 402 illegal POGOs in the whole country, and most of these are in Metro Manila. The list has been submitted to the Joint House Committees, and the Philippine Anti-Organized Crime Commission or PAOC agrees to share it to the public. 45 are licensed offshore gaming operators. PAGCOR is implementing several measures to regulate the offshore gaming in the country, such as 24/7 monitoring of operation sites, dismantling of POGO hubs, imposition of higher fines and penalties, strengthened cooperation with law enforcement agencies and other government agencies. Meanwhile, the PAGCOR will support whatever the decision of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and the Congress on POGOs. This includes the possible banning of POGOs.
If Congress will pass a law and if the President will order the immediate closure of the the IGL industry, we will be supportive of such. We will not be contradicting whatever decisions Congress, Senate, or the President of the Philippines will make.
Several government agencies have expressed their support of running after illegal POGOs.
The Executive Secretary Lucas P. Bersamin gave us a clear and urgent directive to eradicate the scourge of human trafficking in our country and ensure the rescue of all its victims.
We have to admit that our perspective is on the negative side, being on the justice and law enforcement sector. For the benefits, we will have to defer to PAGCOR and other relevant government agencies, and will submit to the discretion of Congress, who will weigh the benefits vis-a-vis the dangers and the costs. But whatever the decision of the body, whether it is an outright ban or a maintenance of the status quo, the DOJ commits to continue to take aggressive action against POGOs engaged in criminal activity in coordination with our partners in law enforcement.
The House of Representatives aim to curb illegal activities and ensure regulations are effectively enforced.
These are heinous crimes and serious human rights violations that affect both our citizens and the foreign workers who are forced to work at these illegal pogos under cruel and inhumane conditions.
The issues or problems arising from the operations of POGO require the collective actions of certain government agencies. With this joint meeting, we hope to identify what or which government agency has the major role in going after the illegitimate POGO operators.
Meanwhile, lawmakers appeal to local government agencies to ensure regulations on internet gaming operations are strictly observed. Rosa Licos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Just a few days remain until President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. delivers his third State of the Nation address. The question on everyone's mind, what do the Filipino people need to hear in this year's SONA? Nelma Ribohok reports.
As President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. prepares to deliver his third State of the Nation address on Monday, July 22, the issue of the West Philippine Sea stands as a critical focus. Political analyst Ramon Casible underscores the importance of articulating the strength of the Philippines' position in the region, especially in light of its alliances with other nations.
Of course, yung South China Sea. Diyan kailangan matatag ang posisyon natin. Lalo na gumanda ng relasyon ng Amerika ang iba pang bansa na kaalyado sa atin.
Moreover, President Marcos must address the pressing agricultural challenges, including the escalating cost of products. Casible emphasizes the need for a clear outline of steps to tackle these issues.
Pinakamalaking usapin na yung economic development, pagbaba ng mga presyo, agricultural issue, at yung mga subsidy sa ating mga mamamayan.
The credibility of the upcoming elections also demands attention, particularly with the recent change of service provider for the Commission on Elections or COMELEC. Professor Edmund Tayao, another political analyst, points to improvements in the agriculture sector, stressing the importance of hearing about future plans and programs. Tayao also advocates for a new approach to the West Philippine Sea issue, addressing concerns of some critics about potential over-reliance on the United States. Additionally, Professor Tayao calls for updates on the ongoing streamlining efforts within the government. Nelma Ribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Commission on Elections or COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia assures that no one from the commission will resign amid calls for him to vacate his post. Dante Amantua tells us why.
The entire Commission on Elections or COMELEC officials and employees in an unprecedented move showed full support with Chairman George Erwin Garcia. They gathered on Wednesday, July 17 at COMELEC main office to express solidarity amidst allegations against Garcia of receiving bribe money from South Korea.
Masakit po sa amin kasi this has been our family. Pamilya kami na inaatake. Pag pamilya mo inaatake na walang kalaban-laban, unfair yun.
Kami po sa Commission on Elections ay nagkakaisa at lalabanan kung anong man ang mga paninira na gagawin sa amin. And we will continue to fight.
Thus, Garcia emphasized they would continue their job, especially with the upcoming elections in 2025. In addition, Garcia assures that no one from the poll body will resign.
Naku po, impossible po yan. Impossible po na may mag-leave at saka mag-courtesy resignation o mag-resign sa isa mang miyembro ng komisyon. Ano sila, hilo? Parang sinasabi namin totoo akusasyon nila. Totoo po yan. Kaya ang sa akin po, total bumababa sila sa level na ganyan. Yung sasabi mag-resign, mag-leave, nek-nek nila.
Filing na ho sa October eh. Yun po, sincere kami doon sa bagay na yun, na ayaw na namin, we cannot afford delay.
There are calls on social media for Garcia to step down because of the accusations against him. However, the members of the commission challenged the accusers to bring their issues before the court and not in public.
huwag kayo pumaris sa mga marites. Do not crucify us in the court of public opinion. Crucify us in the courts of law, because we will be ready to face you with our evidence.
Dan Piamento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And for the news abroad. In a recent interview, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has voiced his support for TikTok, even as the app faces a potential ban. Trump stated that he's for TikTok because of the need for competition, emphasizing that if TikTok is absent, the public has Facebook and Instagram. This marks a shift from his previous stance, where he labeled TikTok a threat but recently joined the platform. Trump's criticism of Meta-owned Facebook and Instagram continues, especially after they suspended him for 2 years following the Capitol Hill riot on January 6, 2021. He reiterated his opposition to banning TikTok in an interview in June. Trump also owns a majority stake in Trump Media Technology Group, which operates a rival network, Truth Social. In September, a United States appeals court will hear arguments on a new law requiring ByteDance to divest TikTok's U.S. asset by January 19, 2024, or face a ban. This decision will come during the final weeks of the 2024 presidential election. The White House aims to end Chinese ownership of TikTok for national security reasons, but does not seek to ban the app. Notably, Biden's campaign joined TikTok in February. We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Herlene.
Thank you, Joselito. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. The Quezon City local government has announced a strict enforcement of the no permit, no rally policy for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s third State of the Nation address set for Monday. This measure aims to ensure order and security during the high-profile event. JP Nunez will tell us why.
As of today, July 17, the Quezon City local government has reported that no anti-President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. group has secured a permit to conduct a rally during the President's third State of the Nation address on July 22. According to Quezon City spokesperson for SONA Preparation, retired General Elmo San Diego, these groups will have until Friday to secure the necessary permits.
Inaantay pa namin yung request ng mga anti-government rallies, yun yung mga progressive group, kasi hindi pa nagsasubmit naman ng request sa amin.
If they will fail to secure their permit, they will not be allowed to gather in Quezon City. They are also not allowed to conduct any form of protests. The rallyists may be immediately dispersed by the authority.
Bawal magkaroon ng rally, bawal magmarcha, basta technically lahat bawal kasi wala nang permit. Kaya nga pinipilit sana namin na pakiusapan sila. Kung desidido sila na magra-rally pa rin, especially progressive groups natin, mag-submit sa amin ng request.
However, if they will secure permit, they will be allowed to march and conduct their program up to Tandang Sora in Commonwealth Avenue. They will be restricted to go near House of Representatives. Meanwhile, the pro-PBBM already secured their permit on Monday. They will be conducting program in front of Sandigan Bayan. According to San Diego, there will be 15,000 pro-PBBM supporters expected in their designated area.
Yung grupo ng pro-BBM group, yung mga supporters ni President Marcos, binigyan na natin ng permit yan dito sa may Como Sandigan, dito sa kanto ng Batasan. On the 22nd, magkakaroon sila ng sariling programa.
More than 1,000 personnel from Department of Public Order and Safety or DPOS, traffic personnel, and barangay personnel to augment to Philippine National Police to ensure peace and order during SONA. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Commodore J. Tariela has addressed recent allegations that the government's transparency initiative has failed to address issues in the West Philippine Sea. According to Tariela, the initiative has successfully achieved its two main objectives. Firstly, it has raised awareness among the Filipino people, counteracting China's dissemination of fake news and unifying the Filipino voice against Chinese aggression. Secondly, it aims to inform and educate the international community about the situation in the West Philippine Sea. Tariela emphasized that while the Transparency Initiative plays a crucial role, it is not the sole response to addressing China's aggression in the region.
The mere fact that more than 80% of Filipinos now support President Bongbong Marcos in our stand in the West Philippine Sea. And more countries now are reaching out to the Armed Forces of the Philippines, the Philippine Coast Guard, and a lot of national leaders, even G7, have given a diplomatic communique standing up against China's aggression in the West Philippine Sea. It has served its purpose.
The Philippine Coast Guard and United States Coast Guard conducted on Tuesday, July 16, the joint exercises in the water surrounding Lubang Island. The exercise, known as a Joint Passing Exercise or PASEX, featured the participation of the PCG's BRP Melchor Aquino and the U.S. Coast Guard Cutter Weish. During the exercise, various scenarios were stimulated, including search and rescue operations, firefighting drills, communication exercises, and medical evacuations. The primary objective of the PASEX was to enhance maritime cooperation and interoperability between the coast guards of both allied nations. This exercise underscores the critical role played by coast guards and maritime life-saving, promoting maritime security and protecting the environment. Retired Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio has urged the government to file a new arbitration case against China. He stated that following the Philippines' submission of its extended continental shelf to the United Nations last month, it is now necessary to pursue arbitration. Carpio alleged that this is what China fears the most. JP Nunez details why.
Retired Supreme Court Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio has stated that the Philippines cannot defeat China in a confrontation in the West Philippine Sea through force alone. He emphasized that given the size and strength of China's naval assets, it is impossible for the Philippines to prevail in such a battle.
China has the largest navy in the world, the largest coast guard in the world, the largest standing army in the world, the largest submarine force in the world. So we do not fight China in the sea.
Justice Carpio advises that the issue should be resolved through a method where the Philippines is assured of winning, and that is through a legal approach. He suggests that now is the right time for the Philippines to file another arbitration case at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea, or ITLOS, established under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS.
I recommend that the Philippines file an arbitration case against China over the extended continental shelf claim that we filed on the west coast of Palawan, to which China officially protested. Let's do the next step. Otherwise, nothing will happen until we die. Nothing will happen forever. Let's bring the dispute to a forum where we cannot lose. And that forum is an UNCLOS tribunal, where warships, warplanes, nuclear bombs do not count, where the dispute will be resolved only in accordance with the facts and the law. And the facts and the law are on our side.
Last June, the Philippines filed claims with the United Nations Commission on the Limits of the Continental Shelf regarding its extended continental shelf in the West Philippine Sea. China protested against this action, prompting the UN Commission to withhold any decision on the issue until negotiations occur between the two countries. However, Carpio has indicated that China is unlikely to agree to negotiations as it persists in asserting its historical claims in the region.
if we negotiate with China, China will always say, there's nothing to discuss because we own the South China Sea since 2,000 years ago. So let us bring China to arbitration. And in that arbitration, we cannot lose. China cannot win because China is claiming a maritime area that is more than 350 nautical miles from the coast of Hainan. Under UNCLOS, you can claim only a maximum of maritime zone of 350 nautical miles, 12 nautical miles territorial sea, up to 200 nautical miles EZ.
According to Justice Carpio, China fears the filing of a new arbitration case because they know they would not win. However, as of now, the Marcos administration has not yet responded to this matter. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Democrats in the United States House of Representatives and others are opposing the virtual nomination of President Joe Biden. Jane Robles will tell us why.
Mike Quigley and Jared Huffman are preparing to sign a letter protesting a plan to expedite the official party approval of President Joe Biden's re-election bid. 3 lawmakers are among Democrats upset by a virtual roll call vote on Biden's nomination instead of waiting for the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. In a draft letter prepared Huffman, they plan to sign a letter urging against a virtual roll call to stifle debate and undermine Democrats' morale and unity. The DNC letter argued that Ohio extended the deadline for the November 5 election, removing the virtual nomination's initial goal of beating the state's deadline. DNC Chairman Jamie Harrison disputed reports suggesting the virtual vote could happen next week, stating that the extension would not be effective by August 5th, allowing time for compliance. Moreover, a poll found 39% of Democratic respondents believe Biden should end his White House run, slightly higher than 32% in a previous poll. A letter from 3 lawmakers circulated among House Democrats. Democrats fear Biden's poor election performance could lead to a second Trump administration, with Republicans nominating Trump at their convention, setting the stage for policy goals with minimal opposition. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party's top choice for presidential nominee if Biden drops out is Vice President Kamala Harris, with some Democrats advocating for a more open process. Jane Robles, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Joselito Liquido, live from Malaysia. Good evening.
Several senators have advised their fellow lawmakers, Senator Gatchalian and Risa Hontiveros, to improve their security. This comes after Gatchalian reported to authorities a video circulating online containing threats against him and Hontiveros. Gatchalian believes the threats are a consequence of his active participation in the Senate investigation on the illegal activities of Philippine offshore gaming operators or POGOs in the country, allegedly connected to suspended Bamban-Tarlac Mayor Alice Guo and her family. Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel says POGOs should be banned in the country, noting their capability to engage in illicit activities.
Of course, I advise them to improve and increase their security. We should not be happy na ganitong klaseng tao ang pinapapunta natin sa Pilipinas. Ang na-attract ng sugal, mga walang hiyang tao talaga yan. Binuksan pa natin sa mga foreigners, hindi natin alam kung anong lebelo ng kawalang hiyaan ng tao sa ibang lugar.
Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa also shares the same sentiments, saying that Senate security is not enough.
Naniniwala ako na pwedeng magkaroon ng threat dahil
Pogo is a multi-billion industry, para ring drug industry, no? Dahil kung sabihin natin na establishment security lang ng Senado, what about kung lalabas siya sa Senado? So meron siyang weakness doon, para hindi natin bigyan ng tsansa yung mga tao na yan na nanunurture na nga sila ng mga tao, pinag-torture na nila. Ngayon, pati senador, tatakutin nila. Anak ng baka. Ako takutin nyo. Huwag yung aking magkasamahan na hindi sanay sa takot.
For his part, Senate President Francis G. Escoda stands ready to provide assistance to his fellow lawmakers who are facing death threats. However, he clarifies that the decision to add more security personnel must come from the two senators. In an interview, Gatchalian said the Pasay City Police is now investigating the authenticity of the death threat. The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, has confirmed that the Chinese monster ship remains anchored at Escoda Shoal, just 638 yards away from where the BRP Teresa Magbanwa is patrolling. Monitoring of the ship has been ongoing since July 3, and it has not yet departed the area. Escoda Shoal is located 75 nautical miles from mainland Palawan. In addition to this, the PCG also confirmed the passage of another China Coast Guard vessel identified as 5303, approximately 60 nautical miles from Lubang Island in Occidental Mindoro. In response to these developments, Coast Guard Admiral Ronnie Hilgavan immediately deployed another PCG vessel, the 97-meter BRP Melchora Aquino, to the area. However, Commodore Toriela has clarified that the Chinese vessel departed last night and headed towards Palawan.
So I would like to confirm that as of 7:30 in the morning, the last image that I got from our Coast Guard personnel from 9701, the China Coast Guard monster ship remains to be inside the Escoda Shoal. It never departed and still anchored there.
Vice President and outgoing Education Secretary Sara Duterte is scheduled for a brief meeting with her successor, incoming Education Secretary Sonny Angara. This meeting will take place tomorrow, just prior to the formal turnover ceremony. Gladys Tuwabi will tell us why.
Vice President Sara Duterte has expressed confidence in the leadership of incoming Education Secretary Senator Sonny Angara. As the turnover ceremony approaches on Thursday, July 18, the two leaders are set to have a brief meeting.
Ibalo ko si Senator Angara, he's been in government for the longest time, longer than me. So, kibalo siya kung sa ang ato ang kinahanglan, kibalo siya kung sa atong kinahanglan buhaton to improve the quality of education in our country.
Vice President Duterte has already spoken with officials in the Department of Education, urging them to remain in their positions.
The day na nag-resign ako, I sent them a message. And I invited them for dinner. Nag-iingnan ako tanan mga USECs and ASECs. Please stay until the new secretary will remove you. Because otherwise, kung manghawa tanan, mapiangan ang Department of Education. But ang uban, nag-ingon sila nga dili na gid sila magpadayon sa Department of Education.
As she prepares to step down, she took the opportunity to thank all teaching and non-teaching staff, parents, and stakeholders for their support during her tenure. Earlier today, Vice President Duterte led the national kick-off of Brigada Eskwela in Carmen, Cebu, where she also shared insights on improving the academic performance of learners. Gladys Tuwabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 9, it says, "He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer shall be abomination." And those are the reasons behind the news, July 17, 2024. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Harleen Delgado. We serve the people, we give glory to God.